Hello.
How was your day going?
Well, it's a Monday, and Mondays you never know what's coming at you.
Ooh, we got to find out what a typical day
Wait,
for a what do you do cybersecurity guy. He's a very tech savvy guy, so pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the hats I wear.
Yeah.
I mean, Monday is just crazy. It's crazy all the time. And I have two kids, can you imagine? Like Monday mornings. And this is just the second week of school. So we're like
Yeah.
in the
Oh
midst
yeah.
of chaos.
Yeah. They have to get adjusted.
Yeah, and they don't want to. I'm telling you, they don't want to at all.
Yeah,
Like,
I
no,
can understand that.
What is it that they don't want to do, Zoe?
they don't want
Be
to buy their
responsible. They
books.
want
They don't want to
to.
leave the bed. And it was raining the whole morning. So they even want to leave the house. So,
They don't want to be responsible.
no, for nothing. Like, yeah,
With that said,
we're good to go.
we're good to go.
We're good to go.
We're good to go. So let's go.
Welcome to Decisive podcast series by Roberto Ingram, co-hosted by Zoe Mazah. We go live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Decisive podcast series. This is episode 112, and we are so excited to be in the midst of Detroit.
Detroit in the house.
Detroit in the
Yes,
house.
welcome.
Detroit in the house. Thank you for joining us. Before we get started, I want to introduce again my co-host, the Queen, Zoe Mazah.
Thank you so much, Roberto. Well, it's a Monday, as always. I actually talked him in that we're going to do this Mondays because as musicians, all of us are working on the weekends. So Monday is a good day, but we're still kind of tired from a busy weekend. In my case, yes.
Was your weekend busy? Were you out there on the road, Derrick?
Actually, my weekend was rather relaxing. I just tried to catch up on a lot of stuff that has been sitting in the bin waiting for me to do. So that's what I did this weekend.
Well, we got to welcome back Mr. Derrick Thompson. He's been around with us, I guess, since COVID. I suppose so. Yeah. And today we're, kind of getting updated with just about all the accolades he has completed since since then, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And we love that you are still with us here on the platform. And it was just a few years ago that we kind of got back in touch, and I saw that you were releasing a lot of things on the label. And you're a true Detroit producer and label owner, founder of, is it Soiree Records?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Soiree Records International, and Explore Music, also known worldwide as Drivetrain. What is Drivetrain? What you driving trains, Mr. Thompson? Welcome to the Decisive podcast series.
Yeah, thanks, Roberto. Roberto, it's good to be here.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time with us. Tell us what Drivetrain means.
Well, the actual word is like part of an automobile, right? It's like the motor that keeps the car moving.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Right. And so, I'm always on the go. I'm like the Energizer Bunny, It's
You didn't know that, Zoe, did you?
No,
A drivetrain.
I didn't.
Drivetrain is a part of a car that
I
turns
didn't.
It makes the wheels turn.
Yeah. So I keep the wheels turning here. So I'm not sure that that's where the name originated for me, but it sounds good. So let's just go with that.
So we do Drivetrain or Derrick Thompson?
You can call me Derrick Train, or you
Derrick
can call me Drivetrain, whatever suits you.
What do you prefer?
Derrick Train. I like it, kind of. I like the double.
double-
but
double-
I like Derrick Train is something that is good to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds very well.
Yeah.
Those of you that are listening, we really appreciate you being here. So this is kind of a call to action, and we want you to please be sure to tell some friends to subscribe. We're trying to hit this 500 subscription mark?
Yes, we want the 500. So please, everybody, sign up for Decisive podcast series on YouTube. Make sure it's not so difficult. You just like subscribe.
Yeah, and yeah, because what we try to do here is we try to capture the essence of what artistry and creativity as a whole is, instead of kind of just a nitpicking, and the struggles and the challenges and each, I guess, each creative has their own type of struggle and own type of journey, and some of those also means not getting paid.
Yeah.
And all this hardship stuff that we do for the passion that we love. So with that and your help to continue to do more shows like this, we will be much grateful if you would pass it on to your friends. Yeah. So with that said, I kind of separated this show into segments, Zoe.
Oh, yes, I know that you did, and I want you to start with segment number 1.
Well, what about this one? What
About this one?
Yeah, this
well,
part.
you know,
yeah.
I mean, actually, you guys been talking before, right? And I haven't been part of this earlier conversations. And I have to say that I am really looking forward to hear something about your story. I was reading your bio, I was studying everything. And, from playing the drums to being a label owner, and being a DJ, I read also songwriter. I am so very curious to hear about your story.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to tell it.
With that said, also, yeah, last time we spoke, as I said before, it was during COVID, and Soiree was already, a staple for you label since 1990, I believe, right?
Yeah, the first release was released in December of 1990.
Yeah. Since then, you've expanded and evolved. Looking back, I would say, how do you feel your sound? Your sound and vision have grown since then.
Well, back in those early days, we were kind of focused more on kind of a acidy approach. I think that first release was kind of like an acidy approach, and then from there we kind of pivoted to a house style for like the next maybe 10 or more releases. And then we kind of from there, after getting established somewhat, we felt comfortable with trying other things. So we included things like more techno, even some electro. And as the label continued to get more established and more recognized, we kind of were able to branch out into other things too. Like there's some down tempo tracks. We've got some drum and bass tracks on the label now. But predominantly, the label is focused on house and techno currently.
Like you think, I want to take it further.
I guess you didn't hear what she said. So tell it.
Oh, to me, it just really sounds like there's a huge variety inside of your label. There's like possibilities to even grow. Is there a vision? Could you say like, okay, I'm really seeing the future of the label going in this and that direction musically?
I'm very comfortable with where the label is now. Again, it's predominantly focused on house and techno. But we also do other things, like I said, drum and bass occasionally. There's some electro, some down tempo, some experimental. I think for me, the label at this point is more of a vibe as opposed to focusing on a specific direction. There's a certain sound that I'm looking for releases. And, I get a lot of material from people who want to release on the label. And a lot of the material is really good, but it does not fit within the scheme of what I've built the label to be. So rather than stick to names and genres, I just like to describe what's going on as more of a vibe or a feeling.
Oh, I like that. I really like that because it makes it very unique and strong in the message as well.
Yeah, and he's kind of you started the label from the ground up, so I mean, you learned so much as you continue to move on, and then to our listeners who don't know, let's talk about the listeners who don't know. Can you share how you first was drawn into music, the music culture and the scene in Detroit?
Well, if you want to really get back to the beginning, when I was just a little kid, I had a couple of uncles that were singers and played guitar and things like that. So I was kind of fascinated by what they were doing. And then when I was a little bit older, my older brother bought a bass guitar. So I started playing that. Even before that, I had started playing drums in grade school. And from the time that I started playing that bass guitar, I got really good at it. And then I just wanted to venture out into more things. And then I started playing the 6-string electric guitar. And from there, I just kind of wanted to be able to compose and bring everything together. The rhythm section with the bass and, you know, the melodies. And so I got off into sequencing and keyboards and stuff like that. And before you knew it, I was producing tracks. And also around that time, it was like at the time right after I got out of high school, my brother was older brother was DJing in clubs. And so, you know, I took an interest in that. And so I kind of followed in his footsteps and started DJing as well. And so the whole thing just kind of snowballed from there. It just kind of built up from those humble beginnings to what it is today.
So, do you still play just for fun for yourself? Do you still pick up the bass and play? You know what I love about the story? That I'm a musician, right? So, for me, this is a real musician story. You started like, you know, influenced by family, and then you pick up an instrument and you learn it, and from there, you know, you took it from there. Do you still play just for yourself because you like making music?
Well, as you can see just behind me, there's a 6-string guitar. I play every day. I play guitar.
Love to hear that. You know, that's the kind of thing that I really like. I love to hear that. You know, because
I got to keep my chops, you know. But
yes,
I also
yes.
I also play in 3 bands right now regularly.
Oh wow!
I'll share you some video later, but yeah. So I'm also very
Awesome.
active in the live music scene as well.
I love that.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah.
That's
one
important.
one of the bands that I play in. Most of our gigs are out west here in the U.S. We played a show recently. We opened for Bow Wow Wow, the band from the 80s. We're going to be opening for another band, another British, no, they're from the U.S. We're opening for Missing Persons, another retro band.
Missing Persons. Oh my God, they're legendary. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So yeah, we do a lot of shows out west.
That's cool.
And in that band, I do the vocals and play guitar. So it's a lot of fun.
You know what I just really love right now, and he knows me well. You know, like sometimes when I think about like people just being a DJ or producing, they are not into making the music other, you know, than with machines. And I love to hear someone is playing an instrument and actually, you know, has a lot of fun playing because I see it in your face. Even you have those big shades on, I can see it in your face that you love it. And
You know what's
that's inspiring.
You know what's also awesome is that they're acoustic instruments, and he is also doing techno.
Yes.
So we talked about that earlier.
Yes, we've been speaking about this before, and it just, you know, and you can hear that in the compositions as well.
Well, yeah, and some of the tracks that I've released on the label, I'm playing guitar. There's one track that I released. Let's see, it was a track called "It'll Never Be the Same," there's two mixes of that track. One mix is entirely a bass solo.
Oh,
So, so
wow.
go back and listen to that.
How long is it?
That track is probably 5 minutes long.
Oh my God, this is perfect. You
You,
made
you have a
my
little
day.
bit.
Thank you.
You have a little bit of it. You have a little bit of it available.
It's on YouTube. Just
Okay.
look up Drivetrain. It'll never be the same. There's one like a house version, and then there's a down tempo version that is just basically a bass solo.
Oh, I definitely gonna check this one out.
Is what you do is part of the influences of is that come out on your label as well? This kind of a sound that you also you playing bass live on your releases?
Yeah, like the one I just described. That one is out on the label. That one was released.
And the current ones as well, huh? Or?
That one was released about a year and a half ago. The one I just described. So
Okay.
it's not old. Okay. So actually, on a lot of releases, I'm playing guitar and or bass. You know, maybe they're not really like prominent in the track. Maybe they're not all out in front. But if you listen closely, you can hear it in a lot of my releases.
Let's talk about strengthening Soiree Records. Soiree Records has been, independent independent, right? Since 1990. That's hard.
From
Yeah,
the
it
beginning.
is.
Independent. What has kept the label strong for so many years?
Well, I think as we were talking before we actually went on the air, this is more or less a labor of love. Okay, so I don't really expect to get rich from this or to become famous or anything like that. I just do it because I love it, and I think because of that, I'm not held down to any type of expectations or I'm my own boss, pretty much, to say it simply. I'm my own boss, so I can do what I want. And when I'm doing what I want to do, I can enjoy it. And as long as I'm enjoying it, then it's not a problem.
I hear you. This is a real independent artist story. And this is powerful because what you just said is so encouraging for other people because you're speaking with a lot of passion and what you say, you're doing what you love.
Exactly.
And not for the money. You know, you have to say that it's not only for the money. It's not to get famous or whatever. It's
No.
like really because you love doing that. And I think this is so very important because what I experience in the scene and musicians I meet, artists I meet, they get so frustrated when they don't make it or what they call make it, you know, and they're losing kind of the feel for their own music, for the thing, for the reason why they started out first. And I find it extraordinary that you still have that and it shines around you. You know, it's really something that I can feel that.
Yeah.
What are some of the struggles with that love? You know what I mean? I feel the same way like you. I feel the same way. I love what I'm doing with this Decisive, and I'm not getting paid for it, but it's something I love. And to have conversations like this with you, what's so important for me for the show is that we get down to the real nitty gritty because it's not that easy, you know. Loving
Right.
to do this and get by day and year by year, you know. What keeps you driven? You know what I mean?
Well,
What besides the love? I mean, helping people satisfaction of the, you know, there's more to it than just the love, right?
you know, that kind of reminds me of a discussion I was having not too long ago about art. Music is a form of art, just like painting or photography. Those are all forms of art. And I was having a discussion with somebody who was saying, I mean, there's a new Madonna album coming out. And someone was asking, well, why is she still making music? I mean, she's old, so, or she's in her 70s or whatever. I don't know, however old
Boy.
she is.
Oh boy.
And the answer is very simple, because she loves making art. That's what she is. She's an artist. It's in her soul. It's what she was. It's what she's here for, right? That's her calling. So for me, I feel the same way. I'm having fun. Now there's a lot of things on the side that sometimes make it not so fun when other people get involved, and sometimes you get cheated out of money and things like that. There's a lot of things that go with it, but the part that keeps you going is just, it's something that for me is something that you can't control. It's just who you are, and it's something that's built inside of you. So I've been able to weather the storms, and there have been a lot in the industry. As you know, the music industry is not always friendly.
Right.
I mean, it looks really cool on the outside, but once you lift the hood and look underneath, there's a lot going on. So if I didn't really enjoy what I do, I wouldn't be in it.
I really thank you for pointing that out. He said art. You know, underneath the love is a lot more things that keep you
What to be
locked
an
in.
artist is a calling. It's a destiny. You once you feel it and once you answer the call, that's it. Actually, like a role that you have with yourself. And I do have a question, and this is like, did the community around you respond differently now than they did in the early years?
Yes, 100% yes. In the early years, it seems when you're first starting out, people are a lot more competitive, to the point where they will try and bring you down and do things intentionally to stop you from growing and succeeding. But being independent, of course, kind of can get you around a lot of that, but still, you still have that. You still have to deal with that. Now that the label's been around for so long, that isn't really an issue anymore. I have been tried and tested. I think that everyone knows that I'm here to stay, or as long as I want to be here. And with longevity comes a great deal of respect. So now, instead of getting people trying to knock me down or suppress me in whatever way they can, or the label, people are more supportive, and it's more of a community effort now.
Tell me about that. Tell me about moments like that. What is your mindset to get past? Is it, I'm going to prove you wrong? Is it, look, they will soon find out or you leave them alone and gravitate to the people that appreciate? How do you tackle something like that?
Well, it's all of the above, Roberto. You have to see it for what it's worth. You know, we like to call them haters. So you understand that there's always going to be haters no matter what you do. But as long as you can maintain your focus, you can look right past that and just do what you have to do and do what you know you need to do to succeed. And
So
that's kind of where I've been along this long road.
So that punchline would be focus.
Yes, absolutely.
And no energy to no haters as well.
Right.
You know, because you
Right.
got to do it anyways. If you
Exactly.
focus on what you're going to do, you're going to do it anyways, because that's what you came for to do. So once you kind of lose yourself in those little wars and attacks coming from the outside, you're going to lose the path of your destiny.
And at the same time, you hope that at some point they get the message that your passion and your love and your commitment is undeniable.
Yeah.
Over t-
Some people never will. You got to understand that too. Some people will never be
That's-
on your
yeah.
team.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing it for them anyway. I'm doing it for me, right? So I don't care if they're on
I
my team.
like that. I'm gonna keep this phrase in my hand.
Well-
I'm not doing it for them anyways. I'm doing it for me.
I'm gonna challenge you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
challenge
like
you.
it.
I'm gonna challenge you on that point a little bit later in the interview. Although I get it, because I feel the same. I agree with you, but I'm gonna get some more out of that point. Sound and studio, segment 3. Okay.
You want me to make a noise like segment 3? Oh my God.
She's maybe teasing me because I'm so.
All right, now segment 3,
3.
sound and studio.
Yeah.
Go.
I love it.
Your tracks like Hyperlock and your collab Manufactured, capture both grid and soul. What does that? What does? Well, how do I answer this? What goes into your creative process in the studio with those two particular tracks? Can you break that down just a little bit?
Yeah, first I'll talk about Hyperlock.
Hyperlock.
I was started off with the vision of making something that was going to be really energetic and had a lot of movement. And so that part of it stayed the same. But as with most of my productions, when I go in the studio with an idea, by the time it's completed, it sounds nothing like what I envisioned it to sound like in the beginning. So it just kind of goes through different phases until we get to the end product. But like I said, it did maintain the energy that I wanted for that particular track. And then on the manufactured EP, there are 2 tracks on that EP that I produced. The first one is called That Detroit, which is an electro track. So I went in with the vision of producing an electro track. But again, by the time that track was finished, it did not sound like I initially intended it to sound. But I was very, very pleased with the finished product.
Okay.
Very pleased. And it was very well received. That track gets a lot of play. And I think it came out late last year or maybe even early this year. And it's gotten a lot of play.
I have a question here because you're saying when you start a track, it comes out completely different from what you had on your mind. For me, it's different. I mean, when I write a song, I'm like looking forward to its sound, the way I want it to sound, like what I want to hear, what I had on my mind before, and this is what makes me happy. How do you know then when you're done? How do you know when it's ready? If it changes so much.
I think maybe after being in the business for so long and producing so many tracks, you kind of just get a sense for what is right. I've worked with musicians before or producers who have produced one track for 4 years. Believe that. It took 4 years to produce one track. I don't like to get stuck in that. And especially at this point, after being a DJ for so long, after producing hundreds of tracks, you kind of just know when you hit that sweet spot, when you got that magic, and that's kind of how I know.
So if you would have to give an advice to a young producer, would you tell them there is like a certain limit when the ears are tired, when they don't know anymore? What should they do to understand when they're really done? Because I've seen this a lot. It happens to a lot of people. Like, keep on going. They're never satisfied. What would be a good advice for people to understand? Okay, now it's enough, done. You're good to go. No more recording, no more editing.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that because I always like to talk about this. When I was making tracks, let's say 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I could produce several tracks in one night. Okay. I mean, I could be up until all hours of the night in the studio making tracks and finish 3 or 4 tracks. Now I don't produce that way anymore. Now I'm working on a remix right now for an Italian label. And I've been working on this track for so far 3 weeks. The reason it's taking me longer is because I'll start working on it and then I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop now because I don't feel that this session is still being productive. So I need to get away from it and then go back with fresh ears. So that's kind of how I produce tracks now. I'll start and then get to a point where I feel, well, I think I'm kind of losing the vibe now. So this Italian track that I'm doing,
I know that point. Yeah.
This Italian label that I'm working on, I just do one session a week, and for like 2 or 3 hours maybe, and then I say, okay, I'm done. And then the next week I'll come back with fresh ears, and it just, to me, the way that workflow is for me, it just seems like the right workflow for me at this time. But that doesn't mean that I can only work on one track at a time. I can do that. I can use that same workflow for 2, 3, or 4 tracks at the same time. So after I'm done working on that Italian track, then maybe I might bounce over and start working on another one. So that's what works for me. Not just trying to get it all done at the same time, but to spread it out and come back with fresh ears.
So over the years of experience, you made it to another plateau of how to back away, refresh, and come back. I feel the same way. I have so many.
Yeah.
I have so many I do, and it's the same. I feel the same way about it.
Yeah, but you have to understand too that everyone is different. I'm not saying that my way works for everybody. Maybe some people can go in and knock it all out in the same session, but for me, I'm finding more success when I can spread it out.
Okay, that's okay too, huh? That's why he's been doing it since 1990.
Right.
He's found his path.
I've been listening so carefully and being quiet because I find it very interesting. I mean, when I'm writing songs, I'm like writing my own music and writing for other people as well. And what you just said, that even if you're working on 3 or 4 hours on one thing and your ears are tired for this, it does not actually mean that you could not just keep on working on something completely different.
Exactly.
And it's fascinating because we say, like musicians always say, the ears get tired. They just get tired of one thing.
Yeah.
They just get tired of one thing. And I think this is important if we would talk to someone and give an advice saying, well, maybe you've been focusing on one thing, maybe just shift perspective.
Yep.
I find it for myself very productive when I just like working on like 5 things at the same time, because my day is long. I start super early, so I would be working on one thing in the morning from 5 o'clock and then, like this. So yeah, a lot of different things. I like that.
Yeah, and everyone has their own, workflow. But again, for me, that's what works for me right now.
Thank you for clarifying that. So producers, here's another way of looking at it. Segment 4.
Oh, let me do this again. Can I do this again,
Okay, please?
Segment 4, expanding with Explore music.
Oh, man.
I wish I had something that make a sound like that. It would be so nice.
Well, you could get Roberto to beatbox for you. How about that?
Segment 4, expanding with Explore music.
I love it.
You launched Explore Music, right, as a techno imprint alongside Soiree.
Right.
What was the reason for creating it, and how do you separate the two entities?
Well, back when I launched Explore, I was under the belief that a label could be more successful if it just focused on one style of music. And so at that time, I thought I was just going to do house music on Soiree and then do techno music on Explore. Back then, vinyl was basically the format that was being used. I think maybe digital was just starting to increase in popularity. So Explore was actually, back then, I think both labels were vinyl only. And it just Explore got to be a very huge undertaking for me to manage the way that it needed to be managed. So I think we got up to maybe 10 releases on Explore, and they did very well. They were well received. A lot of people were playing the records, and they were distributed around the world, but it was just too much. And I decided it's better to run one label efficiently than to try to run 2 not so efficiently.
Well,
So
I understand that. It's like, again, coming back to the focus.
yes,
It seems like this is one thing that is like an essential that I'm getting here, like to really be focused. Makes also a success story. What do you think, Roberto? Because, that's a real quality, especially for artists. You need to be able to focus, meaning like you focus on the workflow, you focus on the best outcome, you focus on having not two but one, or in the meantime, just like really focusing on one to like make it really grow.
I also think can it be like you said, open-minded and being able to, once you explore one type of sound, you kind of find more about yourself as you're creating, and you kind of, like I got a lot of influence. I was starting off playing hip hop and R&B, then it went to house, then it went to techno, then it went to drum and bass. I think those levels of what I didn't even know that I was interested in this stuff until, I'm DJing, and then you say, wow, okay, this is kind of cool too. And I think back then I was playing hip hop. After a while, I got tired of it because it was the same repetitive sound, repetitive artists. They were always being, and so to be able to explore techno and house and from a musician standpoint, I think that's just opening up. That's just opening up a creative field that you don't know about unless you try, right?
Yeah, yeah. And to add to what I was saying about focusing on one style of music for a label, I later found that I could do more than just one style of music on Soiree and be successful, especially after having been in the business for that long and having had the recognizability, if that's a word, or it just being established is what I'm saying. After being established, people were very willing to accept that we were going in different directions on Soiree.
Well, and that's understandable, because once you have the respect, you're good to go. People would say, okay, well, we like them already. We know they have a style, a certain vibe that we are vibing with. So they're opening up a new spectrum for us. So let's try, let's check it out, let's follow. And I think this comes with respect and with time.
Yeah, it proved to be a very good decision. And I think that for me, being as busy as I am, running one label is more than enough.
I know, and plus his regular job, and plus playing instruments in a band. So,
but playing instruments ain't work. That's just fun. That is like
yeah, but I'm just
that's art.
I'm just saying that.
I know.
Well, that brings up another good point. Playing instruments, playing a musical instrument. For me to be better, to improve in my ability to play, I have to have an open mind to music. I don't just play one style of music. I listen to everything from classical to country to metal, R&B. I mean, you name it, I play it all, because having that mindset, it opens you up as far as your creativity, because you got these influences coming from so many different directions. You can create things that in your mind goes places that it may not have gone if you were just focused on one thing.
So if I need a good reggae bass line, would you be able to? Yeah, all right.
I got you.
I'm going to come back to you then. But I have to say, I started out with, I studied classical piano. I've been in a conservatory, studied classical piano, play the flute, and I also play drums. Actually, do you know that I'm playing the drums? I'm not such a bad drummer, actually. And then I studied jazz, and now I make reggae music. So
she can do anything.
Oh, sounds like it.
You should see her when she's playing piano.
But I never go like this.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get together and jam.
Yeah, she gone. Yeah. She gone. And when it comes out, it goes. So
it's
smooth.
It's
so lovely.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, okay. I'd love to hear some.
I love it. I got you. Yeah, segment
number 5. Community and mentorship.
Detroit always been about community, right? Or am I wrong about this? Okay.
Yeah.
Who are the artists you've been proud of to lift up, shall I say, and collaborate with in recent years?
In recent years?
Or throughout the years?
Yeah. Many. I'll name some that I've collaborated with that have gone on to become pretty pretty famous, I guess. Well, Scott Grooves made some of his first recordings with me on Soiree. Um, Minx, DJ Minx, who has really risen in popularity in the last couple of years, she's recorded in my studio and released on Soiree. Theo Parrish has. Um, Norm Talley has. I'm working with some others right now. I've recently done a collaboration with, you mentioned the manufactured EP with Antoine's. He DJ'd or he produced under the name Twan's. Maybe people know him by that name, but he's also pretty well known. So a lot of the more recent Soiree releases have been collaborations with featuring 4 different artists. So if and these artists are from all over the world. There's one in particular. I'll mention his name. He goes by the name Janny Ho. He's from Australia, and he's just a crazy techno producer. His tracks are just fire. I mean, there's so many. I shouldn't even name them.
No, it's okay. It's okay because throughout the program we'll give props to whoever you'd like to. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's in general to to understand how that works and how those relationships are built. You know, and those names that you mentioned, I mean, these people are no joke.
Right.
And how does that make you feel as for all the hard work you do? Is it gratifying a bit to say, hey, we gotten here?
It is rewarding. It's feels good to know that you've accomplished all these things. But I kind of don't focus on that because I kind of like to look forward. I don't really focus too much on what's the past, you know. So I'm thinking more in terms of what am I going to do next? Who am I going to collaborate with next? But yes, it's definitely.
No, I mean, yeah, I meant what I'm trying to get at is these levels. Because some of the names you mentioned I respect for years, man, and it's like, and they're
Right.
also still grinding.
Yeah, yeah. There's a few more Detroiters here that I'm currently working with. I'm not going to name names,
Yeah.
but there will be the next release to follow, which will be in December. We've got a release coming up in a week, but then the next one is going to feature a pretty well-known Detroiter too. So,
I mean, giving these people their flowers right now, you know what I mean? Giving them their flowers right now and them being appreciative is what we need in this industry, you know?
yeah, we do need that, and we need unity.
Right.
It's good to know and to see that today, at least in my community, the people that I work with, that people are willing to work together. You know, they're not fighting each other, and they're supporting each other. So back when I started, it was not like that.
You know, I wrote this one thing in a song once, and it just comes to my mind now. I said, to love yourself is evolution, but one love is the revolution.
I love it.
And that is like we standing together in our communities and even open up to other communities because artists worldwide, this is like this is a whole vibe, and I believe that we are connected on a higher vibration in a way. And if we don't let if we don't let things come between us, we really add on this beautiful field of creativity worldwide. And I think we make such a big difference like this.
Oh yeah, there's power in numbers, and when you work together,
Yeah.
it feels good, and you get so much more accomplished.
Do you think that young artists today are approaching the craft in a different way than back in the days?
Do you mean musically, or do you mean business?
Actually, especially business-wise, because musically, I think an artist development is an artist development. But today we do have different tools, right? I can break something through social media. Like when I speak to different people, like from all different age groups, you see some that I just like, break their things only by a social media hype. This is also a different approach because back in the days, I mean, for me, it was like, okay, you just be there, you sing, you get your things done, you play live, and this is how you're building your audience. And then once you had a record deal, all right, that's a different story. Had this beautiful. Today, it's different, and I think it really changes the approach of especially younger artists, and especially on what makes them feel successful.
Right. You just hit the nail on the head again. Today, it seems social media is the determining factor of success. How many followers you have on Instagram? There's a lot of promoters and clubs that won't book a DJ unless they have X amount of Instagram.
Well,
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess the younger generations, if they want to play in those establishments, then they need to play by those rules. Me personally, I'm not interested in that. If that's the criteria that they're looking for, then that's not for me. But I'm for me, it's more about the music and the actual talent and the integrity to the business. Young people today, to answer your question, a lot of them feel the way I do, but I think that from what I've seen, probably more of them go the other way. They're trying to win some sort of popularity contest.
do you think, as with all the experience you have and what I have too in the clubs, if this shift, this paradigm shift, meaning that a lot of times what I used to go out and my best experiences in the clubs were not hearing radio music in the clubs. It was not cameras. It was not pop music in the clubs. You're going to the clubs to get another experience. I think the music in which you are presenting on your label has taken what it's been about since Paradise Garage, all back till now. It's like hit this plateau where it's like almost like pop scene now. Everybody's a DJ. Everybody can grab a device and become a DJ. So, and cameras in the club and this kind of thing, that also is kind of a place where we are, where everyone can be a star without doing the work. That doesn't work too good in the long run. And numbers mean nothing if you can't play a guitar or bass. No, if you can't.
Do you play the guitar?
I don't, but I mean, I play my instruments the way I play them, but I mean, I don't beat around the bush. You can't cut corners. In the long run, you actually lose.
Yeah.
Integrity, shall I say.
Yeah, yeah. I think that a lot of people that go into the business with that mindset, they don't stick around too long because they're not in it for the right reasons. They're not in it because it's their passion or it's part of who they are. They're in it, like I said earlier, because it's a popularity contest. So they're in it to either become famous or to make a lot of money. And generally those people are in and out of the business within 3 to 5 years. So
And actually, it's pretty difficult to make money with a digital release. I've been thinking about this the other day because, like, digital platforms don't really pay artists well. We have to
that's
say
true.
that loud and clear.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
when I've been selling a CD or if I'm selling my vinyl, I get really paid. So if I would produce an album before and put it out on a vinyl and also on a CD or whatever thing, I could really make the money back to invest in a new project. Now do the same thing with a digital release of an album.
Well,
You know?
I think that the expectation is a little different. To release a digital music digitally doesn't really cost money, does it? It doesn't cost. You can probably do it for free, but the question is, who's going to hear it because you
Yeah.
have to promote it, right? And there's millions and millions of people that are releasing digital music.
Yeah,
So there's
exactly.
an endless sea of music out there. So how are you going to get yours heard above the other? Um, that's one challenge for releasing digital music, but it's also an avenue for, I think a lot of people that do that are focusing more on DJing because that's where you make your money, right? You can make money as a DJ, particularly in those venues that I mentioned before that are looking for how popular you are, how many Instagram followers you have. Those venues are the ones that are going to pay you more than likely a pretty reasonable amount. So if the newer generations are going, in that direction, then that's why they're striving to win that popularity contest. But again, that's not for me.
Okay, segment 6.
Segment number 6, recent releases and collaborations. We've been hearing something about this already, so now you have to address your question.
You've had a strong run with Q-Line Resilience, Detroit Assembly Line Manufactured. Can you walk us through the releases and what ties them together?
The general way that releases are coming out is there's going to be a house release, and then there's followed by probably a techno release, and then a house release and a techno release. That's not engraved in stone. It doesn't have to be that way, but it just kind of has that kind of a cadence right now, because I have so much material waiting to be released, and much of it is house and much of it is techno, and some other stuff, some electro and stuff like that. It's just you got to work it all in, and doing vinyl does not allow me to release as regularly as I would like to, as we know that the pressing plants today are not like they were back in the 90s. So you kind of have to work according to their schedule. So our cadence has been 4 per year, like 1 every season. And so with the number of submissions that are coming in, and with that release schedule, it's kind of difficult to get the music out as quickly as I would like to, but we're moving along.
How did your collaboration with DJ Scent, Jay Garcia, Black Tony, Anton, and Marshall, what is his name? Marshall Applewhite, Yanho. How did they all come together?
Wow.
Like
That's
all
a
of them
lot.
in one.
I mean, not all in one, but I guess
Yeah.
my question is collaborating with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And each one of them probably you have a different experience with, and
Right.
and you've probably known them personally or something like this, and they all bring something great to the table that you enjoy about each one of them.
Now it's like, because my label is established, people know that it's going to be on vinyl, it's going to be digital, it's going to be streaming. People know all of the hard work that I put behind the label to promote it. A lot of that promotion is outsourced. So people want to be part of a winning team. They know if they are releasing on my label what the outcome is going to be. Being from Detroit, I have access to a lot of Detroit producers and artists, like you mentioned, DJ Scent. I've known her for years, and she had some banging tracks. She brought them to me. I said, "Yeah, we need this." So she's got a good run of tracks released on Soiree. She's already released 2, and we've got another one of her tracks coming up. Yeah, and the people that are from other countries, a lot, like Johnny Ho. He came to Detroit for one of the festivals, and that's how I met him. And he was already familiar with the label, and he had some music for me to listen to, and I love the music, and that's how that went. I got to mention Rennie Foster from Vancouver.
Oh, that's right. Is it Rennie or Renee?
Rennie.
Rennie.
Yeah, he and I have been doing music together since like 2000. I think that's when his first Soiree release came out, and
Shout out to Renee,
he's also an amazing producer.
isn't he?
He's also a Wikipedia of music. He knows so much about every style of music.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah.
So he knew about Soiree, and he approached me, and the rest is history. And that's kind of how it goes.
Like this. Okay.
But what has been like the most surprising part about working with so many different voices? Is it like sometimes you like expect something and you get something completely different, or do you really have like a vision before?
Most of these people come to me with music. I rarely approach other people for tracks, although there are some that I have. Um, and I've been pretty fortunate so far to work with people who are very cool. I haven't had any trouble with any of the artists or producers. They know what to expect from me and the label. I always deliver, and they know. I mean, I think I have a reputation for delivering, and so they know that if they sign with me, then they know what they're going to get. So it's just been a really good experience. The only thing I'll just say to that is that, again, there have been a lot of artists that have sent me tracks. A lot of these tracks are really good, but they do not fit within the framework of Soiree Records. And generally, when I have to turn down tracks, people are pretty cool. They understand, okay, yeah, it's not really what you guys are doing. But it's been, all in all, a really good experience working with all the artists.
That's so beautiful, you know? Usually you also get to hear a lot of disappointed stories. You know, when you think like,
Yeah.
okay, I've been expecting this and that, and then people like really didn't get it across or whatever.
Yeah,
And but also from the other side, as an artist approaching a label, knowing this is what I want, and you sitting there and saying with all confidence, they know what they're gonna get. You know,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
also something like you're speaking as a man of his word, and as an artist, this is beautiful, you know, because this is what we all dream of, having someone we can rely on that put our music really out there the way we need it.
Well, it's good business, and there have been some people who may not have been familiar with me and the way I run business. So for those people, before we do any business, I explain to them what I can do and what they can expect. And once they know that, it's up to them to decide whether or not
'Cause
they want to continue with the deal or not.
Yeah, this was the perfect kind of move to segment number 7.
okay, well, let's,
Business and longevity, because that was just perfect. I had to do it. I'm sorry. It was just like it
but I
was
had
there.
one.
With like
I had
lead
one
it
more.
there.
I had one
Yeah,
more
you
on
can
this
do the.
subject.
Yes,
I had one
Roberto,
more.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was stepping in on an interview with Miles. Big shout out to Miles and MS Live and Donnell. They had Cynthia from Berlin on the podcast yesterday, and we were on this topic about getting music sent to them, and some people sending music that they thought their perception of the label was. She said she was getting a lot of piano music, house music, and she was like, "Oh, what? Why do people think that the label is only about piano music? What are you looking for actually when these releases are coming? House music is a very big word, so
Hmm.
in your mind, your
Yeah,
taste, your brand, what is in a few words, what can people understand about what you're looking for?
I'm looking for piano music. No, I'm kidding. That's okay. No.
Oktoberfest drink.
Um,
Roberto.
I don't know how to really respond to that, Roberto. I think that
Okay.
generally I'm looking for a feeling, like a vibe. And I can't tell people, okay, I want you not to have piano on your track, or I want you to have a female singer in your track. It's none of that. It's just when I hear it, I know it. And I think that when people hear music from the label, they can hear kind of the similarity, the soul, if you will, in the music. So if you listen to like any number of releases on Soiree, then you should know that it's not piano music. And you know, you kind of know what we're shooting for. I think I would hope so.
The effort people should actually do research well before they reach out, because it's also a wasting of time. Then you listen to something and it's like, okay, why?
Yeah.
I think that's a
Okay, so that what would my I
Yeah.
guess my point was, what is your advice to those that are sending music
Me.
to labels?
Well, I'll speak on my label. People
Okay.
that are sending, or anybody else's label, I can speak on that too. If you're going to send music to a label, do your research first and make sure it's a good fit, because if it's not, you're wasting your time and you're wasting the label's time.
Okay, good.
I
Now,
love that advice, because it's something is so very common. I hear this all the time. Oh,
Yeah, but
I've
we
been
get- if they don't
sending my
know-
music in there, this and that, and they always turn me down. I always get rejected, and then you double check of what they've been sending, and it's a total misfit to
Right.
where they send it to.
Mm-hmm.
And I also find it disrespectful, because you're really wasting people's time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Yeah.
you could be that, or okay, they just didn't know. But I like what you said, and I'm glad that they should understand, because I was very inspired with DJ Nastia. She posted a reel about what she expected for a label. If you're sending me tracks, this is what we're looking for. This is what and and I think for independence, this is a very good thing to do. And
Right.
you explained it, you explained it respectfully, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. And you guys made a good point too. It's kind of disrespectful for the label to get music from someone that's sending music that's completely contrary to what they do. Like if somebody sends me a track
Rock
that
and
sounds
roll.
like trance, it's, do you think do you think I'm gonna sign that?
Yes, of course. Maybe they're open-minded that they want to hear trance too. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, for one, I don't do that music, and for two, it tells me that you know nothing about the label, and
Exactly.
you're gonna send me a letter and say, "I love your label. Check out my tracks." Well, I know right away you don't love my label. You haven't listened to anything on the label, because if you had, you wouldn't be sending me this music.
Yeah, I think this is very important. I really think it's important, because it's like, what do you think? And then we're coming back to frustration, and also coming back on the focus. If I want to bring my work, my music forward, I should do my own homework first, besides making the music.
You're right.
And can I do it now again? Can I move to segment number 7?
Yes,
The business
please.
and-
Let's do it.
Okay, let me do that. Segment number 7, business and longevity.
Running vinyl label and digital label today isn't easy at all. What is the hardest business lesson you've learned in keeping an independent label alive?
I guess I would have to say the importance of promotion. Because again, if you are just making tracks and putting them on Facebook and Instagram and hoping that, and maybe Bandcamp, and hoping that somebody sees it, well, that's a start, but more than likely you're not going to get the attention that you want to receive, because it's not being promoted properly. So with so much music out there, that's one of the main things that you should consider before starting a label, is how you're going to promote it.
Where do you promote nowadays?
How did you say, how do I promote, or
No,
did you ask
where?
where?
Because like magazines, that's kind of dead. You have online magazines, all right. So where does it actually happen besides social media?
Yeah, I do some promotion myself. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but I also outsource a lot of the promotion to companies that it's their job to do that, and they do it a lot better than I can. So currently, I'm working with 3 promotional agencies that push the music. And I also do an email list. I do an email distribution list on my own. And also, like you mentioned, there's social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that.
But that's a beautiful advice for young independent artists
Thank
or
you. That's what I want to
people
hear.
that just want to start a label. For example, the email list. This is what everybody could do. If I have someone and like want to bring their music out there, so they get it started, they can start having that. They can start having their own newsletter. They can, they can collect the addresses of people. They
Yeah.
can really do that.
If you want to
So
release trance, this is how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
now all kind of music, everything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
I'm with
really
you.
works. It really works. And I
It's a
think
good
that's a great
start.
advice. It's like
It's a good start, and it's affordable. It doesn't cost money
exactly.
to do that. So you just have to be uh, willing to do the work.
And this is I find this so very important. And well, I'm always up for trying to help other people also get it. First, what you just said, well, you have to be willing to put in the work. And a lot of things are just very affordable. You can do that. You can collect the emails. If you're starting with your friends, with the friends of your friends, whenever you play a show, whatever it is, like a DJ or a live show, whatever, you can have, you can make those people sign up. It doesn't cost anything, but then you're putting the effort in.
Right.
And I think this is an encouraging message to send out to other musicians and other artists
Yeah.
that it really is possible to grow, because a lot of times people get so frustrated thinking they don't have the money to, no big budgets to put on like promoting their work.
Right.
But like, it's a time that you invest also in yourself,
Right. In yourself.
in yourself, and you're like, yeah, everything.
And segment.
Oh, I can do it again. So I wish we had the music. So imagine the music going on.
We do have it.
Oh, this is just an applause. All right, this is segment 8.
How many segments are there, if I may ask?
Well, I think this is the last one. It's a segment number 8, and looking.
No, we got quite. We got a few more. We're almost done here. Looking ahead.
Well, I'm not rushing. I was just curious.
Okay,
let's-
good.
No, that is like.
Well, I'm not telling. Okay, here we go. So, what is the next? What? Yeah. Okay. What is next for Drivetrain
So
and Soiree, of course.
yeah. Okay, there's a few things. As I mentioned, we have a release coming out next week, September 29th. It's called Codewise. I have a track on there, and there's a track by Black Tony. You mentioned him earlier. There's a track from a guy in the UK. He goes by the name Zika. And then there's a track from Jesus Gansev from Spain. And then after that, we've got another one coming out in December, which is, I'll just say that. I'm not going to talk about that too much because it's going to be kind of a surprise. And then we have, every 3 months. So we got those. We got the next 4 releases are already in the bag. They're already ready to go. I'm also working on some stuff for other labels, which will be released this year. I'll mention one of the labels is from here in Detroit. It's Bang Tech 12. I've got an EP coming out on that label. It's going to be digital. And then I've got, like I mentioned earlier, I'm working on a remix for an Italian label. And then I'm working on another EP for another Detroit label. So I've got all those things that I'm working on in the studio right now. Also, I'm preparing for a UK European mini tour coming up November, December.
Oh, you're coming to Germany as well?
Actually, I will be in Germany, and let's see, I think I'm playing in Cologne December 6th, and I'm waiting to hear from a couple more promoters for other dates too. So there will be others coming up.
So I hope you're coming to Munich. This will be nice because we.
Oh, hey, why don't you guys set something up?
All right, Roberto, this will be on your end. If you can find something, let's do it. I'm gonna be there.
I'm very supportive of this, but I know you spend. Let's talk about Klaus. Klaus also brings you out, right? Klaus Bacor, right?
From Cologne, yeah.
Cologne. Big shout out. How's he doing? Is he okay? You guys all good?
Yeah, actually, the December 6th show that I mentioned, I'm going to be playing with him in Cologne.
Okay, good. Okay, it's nice to he's still doing the radio show, right?
Yeah, and he's doing his label Psycho Thrill as well.
Psycho Thrill. Big shout out to him. Yeah.
Well, I have one thing that I love to do, right? And Roberto lets me do it. And I always have like some very fast questions, and it goes like, I just give you a question and you answer it with this or that, right?
Okay.
You ready? So, number one, Detroit house or Detroit techno?
I have to choose one or the other.
Yes, you have to. Unfortunately.
Well, because I represent both. That's an
Okay,
unfair
that is
question.
like skip number one. I understand that. I think that's valid. He can do that.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think that's all right. So, and then a second, vinyl or digital?
I think that vinyl is king. It always will be king for me. I think that vinyl is something tangible. It's something that people will always respect. However, when I spin, usually out of town, it's digital because it's much easier to travel with a flash drive than it is with a couple of bags of records, right? And especially if you're going overseas, customs and all that, it's just
Yeah.
too much.
Do you pick vinyls for artwork, or would you also pick it only for what is inside?
I have never just bought a record because I like the cover, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, you never did that?
No, I have never done that. However, I do love to look at the artwork because usually when I'm playing in a dark club, I can't like read the record. So if it's an label art
The
that I can
label's good.
recognize, I can just
Me too.
pick up the
Yeah,
label art
same
and
here.
play it.
Is there one city out of Detroit that you would love to live in?
There's a few. I love Vancouver in Canada.
Okay.
I love that city. London has always been very good to me.
Yeah,
I would
beautiful.
I would love to live in Tokyo, not permanently, but maybe for a couple of years. And here in the US, I love San Diego.
Oh yeah, I've been to San Diego and I loved it. I had such a great time there. We've been playing. The reggae scene is amazing. So
That's some of my favorite. That's some
yeah, it was
Southern
good to
California.
me. I really
Southern
like
Cal-
it. So one more. Coffee before the studio, or are you this like late night person drinking coffee and then go all night?
I drink 2 cups a day. I drink one in the morning and I drink one at 5 o'clock religiously every day.
Oh,
When I'm
wow.
overseas, though, I'll drink it all day long.
With or without milk? Is it
With.
like with milk?
Yeah.
I love that. And can you describe for me? I've never been to Detroit, right? Can you describe for me the magical vibe of Detroit? Why should I go there?
Detroit today is rejuvenating. It's under massive development. There's a lot of money that's being poured into the city of Detroit. There's a lot of projects and buildings going up and just all kinds of life that's being injected into the city, festivals, all kinds of events, so much attention. Not to mention the artistic community in Detroit. It's no secret that Detroit has a musical history from Motown. Even before that, the jazz era was huge in Detroit. And then techno, of course. So there's so much history here. There's so many different artistic communities, not only in music, but also in all forms of art, like graffiti and painting, you name it. I don't know what kind of rap Detroit is getting over there today. I remember the last time I was, well, not the last time, but a few years ago when I was in Germany, there was this documentary that was being shown on TV of Detroit. They had all these blown out buildings that looked like a war zone. Detroit is nothing like that.
Thank you so much for the clarity and from your standpoint. That's wonderful to hear that.
Well,
because
every city has its bad neighborhoods, right?
Yeah,
Every
of
big
course.
city. So I'm not glossing over that. There are some bad parts, but the good parts are what we really need to focus on because it's just more and more of that.
Is that really exciting and refreshing for you?
It is exciting. The downtown area of Detroit now is so alive. There's all kinds of clubs and restaurants and shops, and it's just so vibrant that right now would be a very good time for you to visit.
Thank you so much for introducing your city and also for giving me hope in a way that is possible to kind of make it. I think you've been really putting out a lot of very good insights, not
Yeah,
only as a label owner, but also someone like an artist that is truly passionate about the work.
yeah.
And you're still standing strong. And I have one more thing that I would
Mm-hmm.
like to ask, and this is if you see yourself in 5 years, could you give yourself, and you would have to give yourself an advice to
Hmm.
yourself today, what would it be?
Trying to understand the question. Okay.
Your future self,
Mm-hmm.
What would
giving
I tell?
yourself an advice for today, like don't drink
Oh,
so much coffee, or
no. I, um, that's, I can't think of anything. Just to invest wisely. How's that? Invest wisely financially, which I think I have done. But um, beyond that, I don't know. I don't know what to say. You
but
got
this
me.
is very good. It's very good that you said that.
Because tomorrow he'll, yeah, yeah.
Invest in a good way. You know
Yeah.
why? Because when you think about like your future self would tell you this, to not be lazy about this today. For other things will always be like, if someone asked me today about the same question, I'd be like, focus on your health. Focus on your health because it's what you
Yeah.
will need it. And it's so
Yeah.
important to have good
Right. Right.
health.
Yes.
All those
Yeah.
kind of things. And I think
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
it
health has always been like something I've been very concerned about and interested in, even, I mean, back when I was a child. So that is something I'm not really worried about because I've always taken care of that. Yeah, one thing though, back to the Detroit subject. Here's a shameless promo. There's a track I've got on YouTube. It's called "Music Got Me."
Music got me.
Right, check it out. Drivetrain, "Music Got Me," and the video just takes you all over Detroit, and you can see different parts of Detroit. So
this is gonna be my treat tonight.
check that out.
I'm looking forward to this. Really, thank you so much. I've learned a lot. I feel inspired, and I give it over to my wonderful host, Roberto.
I am still overwhelmed with what you spoke to me about. I love bullet points like you said, critical thinking. When we in the world are going through so much, you are able to focus on the good and appreciate and see a great future and challenges. You called it resilience
Mm-hmm.
and critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Can you leave us with encouraging thoughts on what you meant, what resilience mean to you and critical thinking?
I'll leave you with this thought of encouragement, one that I shared with somebody very close to me just the other day. With all of the negativity and all the hate in the world today, on social media, in the news, everywhere you go, you're seeing just just things that are bringing us all down and depressing. So I said to my friend the other day, what we need to do first to make the world a better place is to focus on ourselves. Make Focus on your own interpersonal skills. Just try and make yourself a better person, and don't worry so much about what this person thinks or what this person is doing. They have their life to live. You can't control that. You can control you. So just think about that and just try and be the best you that you can be.
Wow.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a wonderful show, and I hope that you will come back again with some more great news. I will do a lot to follow up on my support for the label because I didn't get a chance to tell you how much I appreciate you sending me promos. And I'm also loving the vinyl, as you can see, and and I'm shifting through a lot. So I'm hoping that I can get some releases from you. I will end up supporting the label vinyl wise. I'm already getting MP3s and stuff. So that's okay. But with that said, we really, really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope that you can continue on through this 1990 till 2025 and on and on. And I'm looking forward to what you have in store for the world. And thank you again for taking the time. I really appreciate it so much.
Thank you both. I enjoyed it and look forward to doing it again.
Thank you.
With that said, everybody, please, this is a call to action to make sure you help us to reach 500 subscribers. We want to
500, and we want more. Everybody, just make sure you subscribe. We are talking here about arts of all kinds, musicians. We're talking to artists. We want to have insights of artists. This is Roberto Ingram, our amazing host. My name is Zoe Mazah. We had a wonderful show today. Thank you, Derrick, one more time. And now, yes, one love. You're like, going on, going on.
thank you so much, and until next time, everybody.